Why is she even here? She's not combat. The sentence floated across the ops room like a thrown weapon, sharp, careless, and aimed straight at a quiet corner desk. Private First Class Zoe Tran didn't react. She didn't look up. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard, eyes locked on a screen full of shifting patterns and coded alerts. In a room full of chatter, orders, and the clang of military routine, she was invisible. That was the thing about her. While others were forging weapons or giving commands, Zoe decoded the invisible threats, the ones no one bothered to see. Until the day the world changed. She had been ignored for months, passed over in briefings, her ideas dismissed as just intel stuff. She sat in the shadows of the command center while men in green uniforms chased accolades and swaggered through doors. Meanwhile, Zoe logged hours tracing digital footprints and identifying patterns beneath the surface of war zones. She didn't bother fighting the disrespect. What difference would it make? She wasn't out for approval, she was out for answers. She believed in her job, in its quiet importance. On that morning, coffee mugs clinked, orders rang, and voices echoed in the large operation office. The usual energy of mission planning surrounded her. She barely noticed. Then the screen pinged red, a flurry of encrypted signals converging at once. She caught it in real time, chatter in 3 languages, movement patterns in remote coordinates, unusual traffic, code bursts, the kind of pattern only someone with 10,000 hours of watch time could spot. She froze for a moment. Her heart beat faster. She hit the keys, flagged the data, made the call to her superior. She didn't shout. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't ask for praise. She just said, "There's something here. We need to check. Now." Her voice was calm, locked eyes on the screen, and that was the moment she stood on the edge of change. Then the door swung open. The movement came in like a wave. A 4-star general in full-dress uniform, chest pinned with medals and ribbons, stepped inside. Conversation died. Heads snapped up. Phones stopped vibrating. Every soldier in the room rose in unison. All but one man and one woman, the man at the briefing desk and Zoe, back in her corner. The general's boots struck the floor in measured cadence. He surveyed the room slowly, deliberately. His gaze swept past desk after desk. Then, to the shock of everyone present, he walked directly across the chaotic command floor to where Zoe sat. The murmurs halted. The air changed pitch. He stopped at her station, stood at attention, and saluted her. The salute was perfect, sharp, deliberate, filled with weight. The room gasped. The kind of silence that weighs a ton pressed in. Zoe blinked. Her fingers stilled. The buzz of machinery and voices faded. She removed her headphones slowly. 1,000 questions lined her face. The officers remained. Statues. The spies and analysts froze mid-scroll. For one moment, the room held its breath. "Private Tran," the general said, voice clear and authoritative, "your intercept and analysis prevented a planned ambush on a humanitarian convoy this morning. Your work saved dozens of lives. You didn't just analyze data, you made sure people got home." The edges of his voice softened. "You earned this." He didn't hand her a medal. He didn't ask for applause. He simply stepped back, nodded, and walked away. The effect rippled. Soldiers who once ignored her looked at their boots. The intel chief, who used to mute her voice in meetings, held a stiff expression. The junior officers who whispered behind her back now found themselves face to face with the woman whose code had interrupted a mission. Chain of command shifted, unspoken. Respect formed in the corners of the room where it had never existed. Zoe didn't puff up. She stayed seated. She didn't smile theatrically. She didn't look for recognition. She turned back to the screen and resumed typing, quiet and precise, as if nothing had happened. But inside, something important did change. The trivial jokes, the assignments below her rank, the dismissals, they all carried new weight now. In the days that followed, Zoe's desk became a pivot point. Commanders asked her to brief updates. Analysts who never asked for her input now leaned in. The men and women who once ignored her voice now listened. Not because she demanded it, but because she demonstrated it. Duty, integrity, excellence, silent, unassuming, unstoppable. She had become the anchor in a room full of rank and noise, and rank doesn't always equal value. Walk through the base now and you'll see soldiers nod at her, juniors seeking her help, seniors treating her as part of the mission, not just a support function. The whispers changed tone. Respect arrived without speeches. The salute that one general gave her had signaled more than recognition. It had shifted a culture. Not overnight, but in a moment that would be remembered. Zoe's story reminds us that the quietest person in the room might be carrying the heaviest weight. While others chased spotlight, she stabilized a mission. While others filed reports, she stopped a war zone incident. While others heard applause, she simply did her job. She chose competence over clamor, execution over ego. And now, as she leaves the office after a long shift, the lights dimmed, monitors whirring low, she steps outside into the cool night air, pauses and looks at the stars. No fanfare, no ceremony, just quiet reflection. She thinks of the convoy she saved, of the families who might never know the name behind the data. She thinks of the man who saluted her and all the men who didn't. She thinks of the moments she was ignored and how they built her. Because true strength doesn't roar. Sometimes it just unfolds. It sits behind a screen, listening, tracking, calculating. It stands when no one is looking. It refuses to be dismissed. Don't mistake invisibility for insignificance. The person you ignore might be the one making the difference the moment you least expect it. Before we end this story, let us know in the comment where are you watching from. If this story moved you, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories like this one. You never know. The next one might just change your life.